It shouldn't come as no surprise that I have serious concerns with both the deployment of the National Guard and the Marines to Los Angeles. I served in the Marine Corps. We are trained to be war fighters, not for crowd control. Everyone here should be alarmed that the president has sent armed forces into a city against the wishes of a governor and mayor. I am concerned this administration is purposely escalating the situation with this step and politicizing our armed forces in the process. Let's call it for what it is. It's political theater. Hegseth, are the Marines in Los Angeles ordered to protect property by any means necessary?
Sir, I would say the ICE officers and police officers being attacked is not political theater. The National Guard and Marines,
just yes or no. Just yes or no.
The National Guard and Marines have the full authority to protect federal ICE agents.
Yes or no?
Just,
can you just say yes or no? This isn't Fox anymore. Just yes or no.
They're there to protect federal agents and federal.
Another BS answer. Under the SRUF, the use of force, are Marines allowed to fire warning shots?
No.
Now that's more like it. Isn't that easy? Well, you know, I'm going to beat this drum because you refuse to take responsibility. Will you take responsibility for having made a mistake? Not to mention, many people would say break the law in participating in the Signal group chat that included a journalist, your wife, your brother, where classified information was shared.
Sir, every way I communicate is authorized. Every way I communicate.
Okay, if you want to say that. I have called for your resignation. I didn't think you were qualified before your confirmation, and you have done nothing to inspire confidence in your ability to lead competently. You broke the law in sharing classified information, and in doing so, endangered the lives of our service members that you are responsible for. Your inability to hold yourself accountable makes you incapable to lead. This alone makes you unfit to be the Secretary of Defense. Secretary, do you think the United States should continue supporting Ukraine in its fight against Russia, a nation that is hostile towards the United States?
Well, as you know, sir, President Trump is committed to peace.
No, I just want yes or no answers.
Today, the United States has spent billions of dollars.
Yes or no? Yes or no?
Over years.
Just yes or no. Can I get a yes or no out of you?
We continue to send.
Come on.
Presidential drawdown.
It's that easy. Kindergartners could give me a yes or no. Yes or no.
Yes, we support peace in Ukraine.
Come on. Is this really leadership? You're an embarrassment to the United States. If Russia invades NATO allies, are you going to recommend to the president that we fulfill our Article 5 obligations?
Well, Russia has not invaded NATO allies.
No.
President Trump has
No. I reclaim my time. Yes or no? It's that simple.
There's Article 5 in NATO, which we recognize.
So is the answer yes or no?
That's what Article 5 is, yes.
Good. I'm glad you brought yourself to saying yes. Do you think political allegiance to Trump is a requirement for serving our nation, either in uniform or a civilian in the department?
I'm incredibly proud, as are millions of Americans.
No. Not today, Hegseth. Yes or no?
Congressman, you know what a silly question that is.
But it's silly enough to warrant a very straightforward answer. Yes or no?
We all support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
You know what? I'm not going to waste my time anymore. You're not worthy of my attention or my questions. You're an embarrassment to this country. You're unfit to lead. And there's been bipartisan members of Congress that have called for your resignation. You should just get the hell out and let somebody competently lead
This wasn't just another hearing. This was a Marine sitting across from the man running the US military and refusing to let him hide behind talking points. Salud Carbajal didn't open with politics. He opened with something much heavier. He said he served in the Marine Corps, not to impress anyone, not as a badge, but as a foundation, because what he was about to say would have been easy to dismiss if it came from someone who didn't understand the system from the inside. He looked at Pete Hegseth and said something simple but loaded. Marines are trained to be warfighters, not for crowd control. And deploying them into the streets of Los Angeles, that's not law enforcement. That's political theater. The room was already tense. This was the House Armed Services Committee. Questions here aren't soft. Time is limited, and every second is used to extract answers, not performances. Carbajal went straight into it. Are Marines ordered to protect property by any means necessary? Hegseth started doing what he had been doing all hearing, talking around the question, mentioning federal agents, ICE officers, threats on the ground. Carbajal cut him off. Yes or no? Hegseth kept talking. Carbajal didn't hesitate. Another BS answer. That's when you could feel the shift. This wasn't going to be a normal exchange. Carbajal tightened the question. Under the rules of force, can Marines fire warning shots? This time, Hegseth answered, no. And instantly, Carbajal responded. Now that's more like it. Isn't that easy? That line did more than land a jab. It exposed the entire dynamic. It showed that Hegseth could answer clearly. He just wasn't choosing to. And then came the line that cut through everything. This isn't Fox anymore. That wasn't random. That was precise. Hegseth built his career in a studio environment where conversations are controlled, where questions are friendly, where answers don't get interrupted. But here, there's no room to perform. You either answer, or everyone sees that you're not answering. And Hegseth wasn't answering. Then Carbajal shifted the conversation to something far more serious. The signal chat. A journalist accidentally added. Military strike details shared. Conversations that should never leave secured channels. Suddenly sitting in a group chat. Carbajal didn't dress it up. He said it plainly. You broke the law in sharing classified information. And in doing so, you endangered the lives of our service members. And then he delivered the line that defined the entire exchange. You are unfit to be the Secretary of Defense. Hegseth responded the same way he had all along. He said every method he used to communicate was authorized. It sounded official. It sounded clean. But it didn't answer anything. It didn't explain why a journalist was in that chat. It didn't explain why civilians had access. It didn't address whether classified information was shared. It just redirected. And then came the contradiction. Hegseth publicly claimed the information wasn't classified, but in the hearing, he argued he couldn't discuss classification. Both cannot be true at the same time. If it wasn't classified, there's nothing to hide. If it can't be discussed, then something classified exists. That contradiction just sat there, unanswered. Carbajal didn't slow down. He moved to Ukraine. Should the United States continue supporting it? A simple question. Hegseth pivoted again, talking about peace, broader strategy, presidential direction. Carbajal pushed back. Come on, is this really leadership? He pressed harder, counted out loud, forced the moment. Eventually, Hegseth said yes. Then came NATO. If Russia attacks a NATO ally, will the United States fulfill its obligations? Again, Hegseth dodged, talking about the present situation instead of the hypothetical. Carbajal shut that down. That's not the question. And again, after pressure, the answer came. Yes, Carbajal didn't let it pass quietly. I'm glad you brought yourself to saying yes. It sounded like praise, but it wasn't. It was controlled frustration, the kind that makes it clear how difficult it had been just to get basic answers out of the person in charge of national defense. And then came the final question. Do you think political allegiance to Trump is required to serve this country? Simple, direct, yes or no. Hegseth avoided again, called it a silly question, tried to reframe it. Carbajal didn't allow it. Yes or no. Still no answer. At that point, something broke. Carbajal stopped trying to pull answers out of him. And instead, he said what had been building the entire time. You are not worthy of my time. You are an embarrassment to this country. You are unfit to lead. And then the line that ended it. You should just get the hell out. The room went quiet. The chairman called for decorum. The formal tone tried to come back, but it didn't matter. because the moment had already landed. This wasn't about one question or one answer. It was about accountability. Because in the military, accountability isn't optional. You are responsible for your actions. You are responsible for the people under you. And when something goes wrong, you don't deflect. You answer. Carbajal understood that. And what he saw across from him wasn't someone answering, it was someone avoiding. And for 5 minutes, he made sure everyone watching could see the difference.